And now it's time for Shower Chronicles with Andrea Sennington.
For some reason, when I'm in the water, when I'm showering, it's like I can remember everything. So this is the podcast episode. We are going to talk about healing family trauma and funny family stories. So this morning, I know why. I'm always on Ancestry DNA, putting shit together, because belonging and a sense of belonging is a natural human attribute, desire, need, all of the above. So, because I personally do not have that, because I have chosen to live on the outskirts of life, I make connections through Ancestry DNA. Bravo, shout out, not being paid for that promo. And one of the amazing things about being on Ancestry DNA, what has been learning about my family members that have passed. So an awesome thing that I learned, which is a badass story to me, is that my great aunt, whose first name is Lily, just like her older sister, who is my deceased maternal grandmother, Lily, two Lilies in one family, she was a badass. So I discovered on Ancestry DNA that this amazing rebel of a soul, she was incarcerated in 1939 in Charlotte, North Carolina, because my folks is from Baltimore and the Carolinas. Okay? And so this auntie, with her gorgeous self, was incarcerated in Charlotte, baby, for assault with a deadly weapon. And why is that interesting and funny to me? It's interesting and funny to me because I can always see myself laying hands on people, and not from a space of I'm praying for you. I might be praying for you and with you while I am doing a rapid attack with said hands, but it wouldn't be really coming from a place of love. Therefore, I work hard, like Donna Summer, hard for the money. So hard for it, honey. Girl, when I tell you I work hard for the money to not slap the fuck out of people. Shower Chronicles. And that's just how real it is. All that ring-a-lang, gang, 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 gang. That is how true it is. To note, when I was in relationship situationships where people did not know how to communicate without their hands, baby, it was never a one-sided thing. You slap me, I cry, and I'm like, don't do that. Baby, I might cry, and I might say, don't do that, all while trying to remove you from this earth, okay? Death, calm, baby, but go. So anyway, I digress. What is my point? My point is that in trying to find some information about this one relative, I realized, I can look on Facebook. So on Facebook I go, which then ended up, Object and Impermanence, which then ended up being fucking like how long of a engagement? It was like taking a trip from Florida to New Orleans. Louisiana, baby. It was about a 5-hour trip of wasted time looking on the Facebook pages of family members, first line folks. Bravo to the cousin that is living in their truth of rainbow flags, wishes, and farts. Well done. Well done. It's amazing to see, and it gives me a little relief to see that they are not in communication with their biological parent. See? Generational trauma and drama. The patterns continue to repeat. I chose not to repeat them. And I choose not to repeat them. So while looking at these family members and seeing them age, some horribly because they couldn't keep their hands to themselves, pedos, and some amazingly because they may operate in the space of toxic positivity, translation, denial, not understanding, not accepting, not trusting the knowing that your offspring is a pedophile, a pervert, that has impacted a lot of kids. So while looking at these pages, of course you long and think, this is family. God, it would be good to be with them. And oh my God, I'm stronger and wiser now. And all those things are true. However, they can be a distraction. But this is what I celebrate. I celebrate that I am not and never have been that which I came from. An ancestor who literally murdered, took out someone. At least, well, some people, in fact, some people. Hence me doing this deep dive on ancestry DNA. That's a grandparent. Then, a mother who has also had some homicidal ideation. And why is this funny? This is funny because I'm thinking about, for a moment, loneliness was the expansion that is me. For a moment, loneliness was the expansion that is me. Because human connection, belonging, love, reciprocity is all a part of the gift of the human experience. It's a part of the gift of the human experience. But it's a gift that everyone doesn't get. And so sometimes you may reflect and question, was this worth it? Was this loneliness worth it? So here's a funny story, which is what this whole entire podcast is about. The rebel rouser of a fiery sign, Aries, that I gave birth to. So one time, at one of our dwellings, I had an elder come visit. And I was so happy about that, right? This elder is on my maternal side, which is really outstanding because the truth is when you have been the person who goes against the trauma, drama, and toxicity, and catch this, those family members are afraid of your abuser, people will not fork with you, period. I mean, child, if you are a baby, they will leave you at somebody else's doorstep rather than to deal with the wrath of that particular family member whose cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs was greater than anything they'd seen, which has impacted them to the degree that they are frozen in time and are still afraid of this family member. So please catch why having this auntie spend the night at my house, even visit my house, was a big thing. But baby, in comes Tabertha. Enter Tabertha. And I think Tabertha was maybe in 6th grade. Yeah, I think maybe Tabertha was in 6th grade. So, 3-bedroom home, all of this relevant to the story. And Auntie is going to stay in Tabertha's room. Okay? Great auntie to Tabertha. Great auntie to Tabertha. And so I owned this home. Now, let's dial that back. Why is that relevant? That's relevant because I raised my offspring in a space of true democracy. In a space of true democracy. We did not have gender roles. We did not have power being leveraged by birth order. We didn't have power being leveraged by size, okay? We definitely did not have any predators in the home. No predators in the home. Hence, my being single, I had divorced my worst predator. Second worst or close tie, which is their sperm donor, the offspring sperm donor. But again, why is this relevant? This is relevant because, baby, when I tell you that I, without intentionality, demonstrated that I was not my mother's child. So peep this. Your 6th grade child has an amazingly beautiful bedroom. I mean, the labor, time, and effort I put into finding the perfect bed frame. The perfect bed frame. The room was professionally painted, and this was the truth for both of the offspring. Let's be clear. The rooms were professionally painted. Curtains were up. Decorations on fleek. And so, of course, this is where my auntie is going to sleep. You know, because I have a queen-size bed, and this kid can sleep with me. So we are in the media room talking about these bedroom arrangements. And I say to this kid, who may have just been 10, Auntie so-and-so, Aunt so-and-so is going to sleep in your room. Can you get your stuff out? Baby, when I tell you this little heifer, wait for it, okay? Because I'm trying to make sure I stay on the perk, because that ADHD be ADHDing. When I tell you that this being said to me, no, she's not. Just like that. Looked me dead in my fucking eyes. Lip didn't tremble. Face didn't move. And I said, excuse me? Yes, she is. Because she's tried these kinds of things before. I have a whole journal about it, right? She's been tussling with me since she came out. Okay? We had an epic asparagus battle when the kid was 4. So I already knew what it was. Because I know this kid. And I said, yes, she is. And she said, no, she's not. When I tell you it was a 15-minute conversation, it was a 15-minute song-versation. And why is that relevant? That's relevant because the alter ego me wanted to slap her face, her body, off of her face. That's what the alter ego me wanted to do. Because I had a mama who did the same kind of shit for less. Okay? She slapped the fuck out of your mouth just for being born. As if you were the one who had the orgasm for you to get here. Okay? She would slap the motherfucking taste. And yes, I got a curse because that's just what it was. It's like Rick James, baby. It's Rick James. It is absolutely not Smokey Robinson. It is Rick James. Therefore, I'm going to speak about it as if Rick James. When I tell you this lady, and she wasn't a lady, I just use that as a term. When I tell you this lady that is my offspring would slap the soul out of your body for offenses unknown. For offenses unknown. Are y'all hearing what I'm saying to you now? So the mere fact that I have a neurosparkly offspring that constantly challenged my womanhood, my existence, and my ability to parent. The fact that this being said to me while looking me in my eyes, this damn respectful, no, she's not. And the fact that I remained seated as my hands, trembled. Oh, and the internal roared. Okay, as I fucking negotiated with this young, small, while adorably cute, anorexic-ish, because she was little with a big booty, being who had the unmitigated gall to try to flex on me in front of my maternal aunt. And the fact that I didn't slap her into the present day and back into that day was the miracle. And I can tell you this, while that auntie didn't say shit to me about it, oh baby, she was motherfucking respect. And that, my friend, is how you change generational patterns. That is in your DNA, because trauma is in family lineage for up to 5 generations. And the stuff that I came from, I ain't trying to share it. Okay? I'm just now getting low-key, somewhat balanced enough to share that shit now. Because it was egregious. I'm talking we came from incest. I'm talking we came from domestic violence and pedophilia. I'm talking we came from sexism and classism and racism. I mean, lineages and lineages and lineages worth. And how do I know this? Because for some reason, I was always the family listener, even though I was one of the youngest. So my grandma would tell me her burdens. So I knew that her and her mother, whose last name is Kennington, I knew that, as my grandmother would say, they did not set horses. And my grandmother, rest her soul, even though, I'm still pissed with her about some shit, working on that, she treated her daughters horribly. Because she was raised in a time, not making it right. She was raised in a time where women didn't have rights. So women weren't considered valuable. So she did not pay for her daughters to get technical educations or trades. Okay? She let her daughters be taken by other men. But that's that. So all of this to say, healing family trauma, because trauma and drama are so addictive. Baby, that ain't easy work. It ain't light work. And here's this. Check this part out. This might blow your wig cap back. People don't thank you for doing it. In fact, they judge you viciously.
Next week is part 2 of this conversation with Shower Chronicles with Andrea Sennington. Andrea Sennington is a licensed therapist. Go to her website, thebohotherapist.com, or reach out at 352-670-9954.